Hi, my name is Ashley, and my presentation is going to be about homelessness in America. According to the National Health Care for the Homeless Council, a homeless individual is defined as an individual who lacks a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence, which means someone who lives on the street are normally considered homeless because they don't have a regular place to live in. Although they do live on the streets, they're usually kicked out of their area. According to HUD's definition of chronically homeless, it is someone who is homeless and doesn't have anyone with them, and they have a disabling condition. An example could be someone who is developmentally disabled, physically disabled, someone who is in substance abuse, mental illness, and much more. In a 2008 report, it stated that there is an increase in the number of homelessness in 19 out of 25 cities surveyed. On average, cities reported a 12% increase of homelessness since 2007. An approximation of the annual number of homelessness in America is estimated between 2.3 and 3.5 million people who experience homelessness. There was one night in January 2007 where it has been estimated that there are 671,888 people who experience homelessness, which is a big increase in one day. The states that have the highest rates of homelessness is Alaska, California, Colorado, Hawaii, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, Rhode Island, Washington State, and Washington, D.C. Not only is adults being affected by homelessness, but children are as well. In American children, there are about 1 out of 50 or about 1.5 million children each year who are becoming homeless by a study that was conducted in 2009 by the National Center on Family Homelessness. According to National Alliance to End Homelessness, it has been reported that 23% of homeless people are considered chronically homeless, which is a big percent because these people who are chronically homeless have some kind of condition that must be watched. People who are considered chronically homeless should also be watched and cared for because there's a high percent of them and they have some kind of disability that should be watched, and there should be services that supports them. For people who are in families, the three most common causes of homelessness is the lack of affordable housing, poverty, and unemployment. For singles who do not have family, the three most common causes of homelessness are substance abuse, lack of affordable housing, and some kind of mental illness. In many states in America, everything is expensive, including housing. So there is a imbalance between the minimum wage and the cost of living, which causes homelessness in a lot of areas because they can't afford to be on their own and they have no one else to help and support them. In America, there are quite a few people who gets exposed to substance from their peers, and by doing so, they get addicted because the substance helps relieve their stress and makes them feel better, which makes them want to keep continuing it. And a lot of times these substances are very expensive and they can't control their dosage. So when they keep buying, they don't have enough money to keep supporting themselves, but they need the substance to make them feel better. So, according to the problems of homelessness, I believe that there should be some coordination and decision making that the government can do to decrease the amount of homelessness. Since there is increase, a significant increase actually, I believe that they should use decision analysis to determine what option is better for dealing with homelessness. a lot of times a lot of people their like to use statistics and numbers to determine what option is better because they want to be more efficient, and that's what I believe that the government should do to decrease the amount of homelessness. They should compare the options that are available and how it can help in the long run. Homelessness is a big issue right now, and I feel that it is important for whoever is determining or figuring out what option is best for this problem. I believe that they should group think because having more options and more opinions is better to deal with a solution like this. So let's talk about some short term and long term solutions. Some short term solutions that I believe that will help in a short term perspective would be providing housing because a lot of these homeless are not covered, and when it gets raining they get all wet and they can catch other kind of diseases or a cold or anything. Another solution, a short-term solution, could be giving them resources and providing services like for someone who has a mental illness or physical disability, they can have health care, and if they're substance abuse, they can go to rehab. And lastly, unemployment was also something that causes homelessness, and I believe that giving them a little bit of unemployment benefits can help them in a short term solution so they can buy food and maybe pay for rent. Now, let's talk about long term solutions. I believe that the government should provide some type of job so they can have some experience, or maybe they can increase the minimum wage and provide more affordable housing. Since affordable housing is one of the main problems in America, I believe that they should decrease it a little bit. And I also believe that they should increase minimum wage because the gap between the minimum wage and the amount of housing and cost of living, it is a very big gap because a lot of people go paycheck to paycheck, which might alter their people's mind of wanting to live on the street instead and not wanting to work for their money. That is all for my presentation. Thank you for listening and I hope you have a great day.